start screen recording. All right. Any questions from the homework from 10-6? Ellie. You're muted, Ellie.
Is it homework from 10-5 or 10-6?
Oh, I apologize. You're right. 10-5. I have the lesson for today ready.
For number 14. Yeah, for number 14, I put a 0 at the end of the 3 for 11.3.
It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, it doesn't
11.3 and 11.30 are the same thing.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions or ones you want me to go through? All right. We good to go? Should we get started with today's lesson?
Yeah.
All right. Let me go ahead and start screen sharing. And let's get our notes out and ready to go for today. Good job. And I'm going to go ahead and do everybody quick. All right, so we are doing 10-6, which is on page 232. And the objective for today is I can add decimals to thousandths. All right. How many spots over from the decimal point to the right is the thousandths spot? You show them with your fingers. Oopsie. Good. It should be the 3 spots over. So if I write this out, if I have 1.341, the thousandth spot is 3 spots over. So it'd be that spot right here. So yesterday you did homework that was adding decimals to the nearest hundredth spot, which would be the 4. And now we're going to add 1 more spot. All right, so let's go ahead before we even write down those steps. Let's review the steps that we learned on Thursday using whole brain teaching. All right, so let's go ahead and ready. So you don't need anything in your hands. All right, mirror. So remember, we go mirror and then you repeat everything that I say. So mirror, line up the decimals. Line up the decimals. Bring the decimal down. Bring the decimal down. Add from right to left and regroup if needed. Add from right to left and regroup if needed. Mirror. All right, go ahead and say the same thing. So I'm going to now say it to myself. Line up the decimals. Bring the decimal down. Add from right to left. All right, and I want to do it one more time because I didn't get to see everybody. So let's do that together. Okay, remember when we do this together and we do it physically, you're going to remember those steps way better. All right, ready? All right. Get those steps. Line up the decimals. Bring the decimal down. Add from right to left. Regroup if needed. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. So if I could have Samuel, would you mind reading aloud the problem at the top of page 232? You have to unmute yourself.
The table shows where most of Earth's water is collected. What total percent of Earth's water is found in ice caps, glaciers, permanent snow, groundwater, and lakes?
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to be adding 3 different numbers here. So let's go ahead and start that out. And the perfect thing is we're going to do the first step, and I'm going to do this in red. So I'm going to line up the decimals. So the first three, and thank you, Samuel. Let's do snaps for Samuel. Thank you, Samuel. Okay. So we're going to do ice caps, glaciers, permanent snow, which is 1 and 74 hundredths. And then we are going to add groundwater, which is 1 and 7/10. Notice that I'm still keeping that over with the decimals lined up. And then the last one is lakes, which is 13 thousandths. Okay. And there is 0.013. And we're going to add a little step in here that'll help us, especially when we get further out, when we have those decimal spots to the thousands. Okay. So the step we're going to add in here that I'm adding in blue is fill in zeros. So this is under step 1, we're going to fill in zeros. Essentially what we're doing in step 1 is lining up the decimals, filling in the zeros, which sets up the problem for us to be successful. Does anybody, did anybody use that strategy that I said about putting the paper to the sideways, like your lined paper sideways? Anybody use that strategy? Awesome. That's a great strategy to use, especially within this. And making sure you keep those numbers lined up. Okay. All right. So what this means is, and I'm going to do this in blue, so watch carefully. I'm going to fill in the zeros. So I noticed I'm looking at that top number, 1 and 74 hundredths. I'm going to take it, since I noticed the bottom number goes to the thousands, I'm going to fill in a 0 here. Still the same number, but I'm going to, having that number in there will help making sure, oh yeah, I just have to add a 0 in the thousandth spot. And then I'm going to go to the 1 and 7/10, and I'm going to add 2 zeros here so that when I go through and add, I make sure that I'm adding the correct numbers. Okay. And then the next step I'm going to do in green, and it says bring the decimal down. So I'm going to bring that down here, and it's going to go right here. And then the last step that we're going to do is we're going to add, I'm going to do this in purple, add from right to left, regroup if needed. And the nice thing is since I added zeros in there, I'm making sure that I'm staying in the right lane. Okay, I'm not accidentally adding the 3 and the 4, because the 4 is in that hundredth spot, and right now I'm adding the thousandth spot first. Okay, so I'm going to do 0 plus 0 plus 3, which is 3. You can hear the bell in the background. All right, and then I'm going to go through and do the next one. I'm going to go to the hundredths. We don't need to regroup. We have 4 plus 0 plus 1, which is 5. And then I'm going to continue moving on. 7 plus 7 plus 0, which is 14. And what do I need to regroup, the 1 or the 4? What do I need to regroup for 14? Good, thanks, Samuel. 14, so I'm going to carry the 1. And then I have 1 plus 1 plus 0 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So I have 3 and 453 thousandths. And it looks like it would be percent of the Earth's water. Okay, let's go ahead and do another example. Does anybody need any more time writing this down? Okay. All right, doing a nice job so far. Here we go. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. I'll do it all in the colors. All right, so the next one, let's go ahead and add 365 thousandths plus 68 hundredths, so it'd be 0.68. So what I first am going to do is line up the decimals. What would be the next step? Ellie?
Put a 0 under the 5.
Very good. And why did you do that?
So you don't add the 8 and the 5.
Good. It helps us stay in our place value. Good job, Ellie. Let's do snaps for Ellie. Thank you, Ellie. Okay, awesome. What's next? Can you guys show me? What's that next step? Bring the decimal down. Bring the decimal down. Okay, and then what's the next step, Molly? Then we add them. Good. So I'm going to do this in purple. And which spot, Molly, am I going to start in? Will you unmute yourself?
The tenths.
The tenths, but which
No,
spot? What do we go from right to left? So which
Yeah.
one is furthest to the right?
Thousands.
Thousands. Good. So what two numbers am I going to add first?
5 and 0.
Good. Snaps for Molly. Hey, Joe. All right. So I'm going to start all the way over here in the thousand spot. And I'm going to do 5 plus 0, which is 5. 8 plus 6, which is 14. Okay. Are we following along here? 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 1, 10. Carry the 1. To be 1 and 45 thousandths. All right. Let's go ahead and do another one. We're going to go a little faster. All right, let's do, Oh, we're going to do a tricky one. This one's a lot of numbers, but I think you guys can do it. All right, we have wrong color. Maybe. We have 213 plus 451 and 4/10 and 381 and 71 thousandths. I'm going to take a second right now. Make sure you have this written down correctly. We have 213, 451 and 4/10, and then we have 381 and 71 thousandths. All right, so first we're going to line up the decimals. Will you give me a thumbs up if you did that? Awesome, I see great participation. Keep it up. All right, and then we're going to fill in, for the next step, we're going to fill in zeros. How do we decide where to fill in the zeros? How do we decide? Somebody that hasn't talked with for me yet today. How do we decide? Eloise, do you think you could do it? Jeanette, do you want to do it? No, you don't want to explain? Who has not talked with me yet that can explain it? All right, Kate, go for it. You have to unmute yourself.
When you know there's a blank space, but then with the next, like when there's a blank space, and then the next number that you're adding has that number in it.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is, I know that there's no numbers in 213. There's no numbers in the tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Therefore, I'm just going to put 0. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. Snaps for Kate. All right. So here we go. So I'm filling in zeros in the spots that do not have a place value. I like it, John. All right. And next up is bring the decimal down. It's already in my answer. It's ready to go. Okay. And then we're going to add from right to left. So we're going to start in the thousand spot all the way over here where it's in purple. 0 plus 0 is 1. 0 plus 0 is 7. 0 plus 4 plus 0 is 4. 3 plus 1 plus 1, 5. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 8 is 14. carry the 1. 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 2 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So we should have 1,045, 400, and 471 thousandths. Whew, that is a big number. All right. Does everybody have this written down? Maybe a couple people still writing this down. All right, let's go ahead and try number. And we're going to ignore the rounding for now, just because I want to focus on the objective for today first. Go ahead and do number, let's start with 3. Start with number 3 in the guided practice. All right, let's go ahead and do that one. I think that we're probably going to have that one down because we did that the other day. All right, so first we're going to line up the decimals. What do we start with? 34.12 plus 5.63. Okay, line up the decimals. Do we need to fill in, thumbs up or thumbs down? Do we need to fill in any additional zeros? No, we don't need to fill in any additional zeros. Good. All right, and then we're going to bring the decimal down. And then we're going to add from right to left. Give me a thumbs up if you got this. 9 and 75 hundredths. Nice. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Doing good, you guys. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We need more challenge here. All right, let's go ahead and do number 4. I'm going to have one of you walk me through it that have not talked yet. Joe, am I putting you on the spot if I have you do it? What's wrong with what I have up here right now? Henry, what's wrong with what I have up here on my board?
You haven't lined up the decimals.
Very correct. I see this a lot. Don't do this. Very good. Snaps for Henry. All right, keep going if you aren't finished yet. All right, Joe, you ready to walk me through it?
Okay, yeah, I am.
All right, go for it.
So first, you line up the decimals, and
Okay.
you don't need to add any additional zeros to it.
Good.
And then you add from right to left.
Wait,
and
you need to bring the decimal
down.
down. Okay.
And then don't do any additional zeros, and then you add from right to left, and 7 plus 2 equals 9, and 9 plus 0 equals 9, and 5 plus 8 equals 13, and you carry your 1, and you get 1 and 399.
Excellent. Awesome. Did anybody else get that? I got that. Good. Awesome. Great job. Snaps for Joe. All right, let's go ahead and open it up to any questions that we have right now. Questions? All right. This is what we're going to do for the remainder of class today. I am going to stop the recording in a moment and give an exit slip. So the exit slip is number 5. And I'd like you to private message me on the chats. And I can show you how to do that too. If you go to the bottom, it'll say chat, and try that out. Henry, try that out. I know last time it wasn't working for you. And try that out. If you'd like to stay at all to talk about any of your grades or whatnot, Ellie, I'd like to touch base with you at the end of class. Otherwise, we're good to go. All right.
You said number 5.
Yep, number 5.